I am, like you, fascinated by the mysteries around me, by the strange forms of matter that pass through us all, by the parallel universes that live beside us, by the holes in time and space that beckon us to worlds beyond our wildest imaginings. I find the questions of these mysteries intriguing, and like you, I've got a lot of questions.
This is Michael Falkner, and it's showtime, the November 22nd, 2011 edition of the Weekly Podioplex, brought to you by the Chronic Rift. Right out of the gate, I have last weekend's box office results, starting with number 10 and new release, The Descendants, debuting with $1.2 million. In perspective, that amount is spread over just 29 theaters this limited release. At number 9 is In Time, down 2 from 7th. In 8th place is a very Harold and Kumar 3D Christmas, dropping 2 from 6th. In 7th, we find J. Edgar, moving down 2 from 5th. At 6th place is Tower Heist, slipping, you guessed it, 2 spots from last week's 4th. In 5th place is Puss in Boots, down from 3rd with $10.7 million and a total of $122 million. In 4th place is Jack and Jill, down 2 from last week's 2nd with another $12 million and a total of $41 million. In 3rd place is last week's winner, Immortals, fighting for another $12.3 million and a total of $53 million. In 2nd place is new release Happy Feet 2, dancing its way to $22 million. The first movie started out with $41.5 million. The reason for that low take could be glitter. This week's winners are The Vampires of the Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn Part 1, with $139.5 million. That is the second best opening in the Twilight series, behind the $142.7 million of New Moon. Breaking Dawn is now 5th in the all-time opening weekend books, behind Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, The Dark Knight, Spider-Man 3, and New Moon. Whatever the vampires are doing, they appear to be doing it right. In the spirit of the Thanksgiving holiday, all of this week's films are premiering on Wednesday, November 23rd. You know, get together with the family and friends, watch a new release, and prepare to eat some turkey. So, what does November 23rd have in mind to put the stake in Team Edward? The list starts with Hugo, an adventure drama starring Asa Butterfield, Chloe Grace Moretz, and Christopher Lee.
What's your name, boy?
Hugo. Hugo Cabret.
A memory from his past.
Who built him?
I would think a magician. The most complicated one I've ever seen.
Can we fix him?
Of course we can fix him.
A mysterious connection.
Hey! Where did you get this? I need it to fix something. This is marvelous.
A secret.
What is that? I think it's a message from my father. Why would my key fit into your father's machine?
To finding his way home.
This is a treacherous place. Do you understand? Watch your step.
We could get into trouble. That's how you know it's an adventure.
You've tried to forget the past for so long. Maybe it's time to try and remember.
The story's not over yet.
This Thanksgiving, Academy Award-winning director Martin Scorsese invites you on an incredible journey.
Stop that child! Apprehend!
Once upon a time, I met a boy named Hugo Cabret. He searched to find a secret message. I need to know what this means. And how that message lit his way. All the way home.
Hugo.
Set in 1930s Paris, an orphan who lives in the walls of a train station is wrapped in a mystery involving his late father and an automaton. Hugo is rated PG. Next on our slate, we have The Muppets, a family comedy starring Amy Adams, Jason Segel, and Chris Cooper.
We're trying to get the old gang back together again.
We haven't done this in a long time.
Your fans never left you. The world hasn't forgotten.
Sure, it's impossible, but we've got to try.
It's time to play the music.
It's time to light the lights.
It's time to meet the Muppets.
Yes! Come on, guys, let's go! Wow, I can't believe we're all back together.
Yeah! Sorry, I was super excited.
The Muppets have always been about artistic integrity, not cheap tricks.
Check it out. Fart shoes.
This is going to be a really short movie.
Oh, look, what's that over there?
But what?
Ow. Ow.
Throw me over.
I think that's an electric fence. It's an electric fence.
Yep.
Maybe you don't need the whole world to love you, you know? Maybe you just need one person.
Oh, Connie.
I don't care what anybody says. I believe in you. And you.
You think we should have rented a bigger car?
This Thanksgiving, there's no movie like a Muppet movie. Jason Segel, Amy Adams, Kermit the Frog, and Miss Piggy.
Ow, that hurt!
The Muppets.
With help of 3 fans, the Muppets must reunite to save their old theater from a greedy oil tycoon. The Muppets is rated PG. Up next, we have A Dangerous Method, a thriller starring Michael Fassbender, Keira Knightley, and Viggo Mortensen.
Sex.
Male.
Family.
Child.
Divorce.
No.
Professor Freud.
Dr. Jung, I've simply opened the door. It's for the young men like yourself to walk through it.
Perhaps she's the one for your experimental treatment.
Tell me about the first time you can remember being beaten by your father.
It excited me.
And how is your little Russian patient?
There was the most dramatic improvement.
Is she a virgin?
Oh, sadly.
If you ever want to take the initiative, I live in that building there.
Why should we put so much effort into suppressing our most basic natural instincts?
Never repress anything.
I want you to punish me.
There's a rumor running around Vienna that you've taken one of your patients as a mistress.
Surely you didn't think I'd let you go without putting up a fight.
Don't you think we ought to stop?
Do you want to stop?
You still love him?
Will you come back to us now?
Sometimes you have to do something unforgivable just to be able to go on living.
A Dangerous Method is a look at how the intense relationship between Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud gives birth to psychoanalysis. A Dangerous Method is rated R. In lighter fare, we have Arthur Christmas, an animated comedy starring James McAvoy, Jim Broadbent, and Bill Nighy.
Dear Santa, my friend doesn't believe in you, but I think you are real. But how do you get around all the children in the world in one night?
Dear Gwen, do believe in Santa. He is real.
If you've ever wondered how it could all be true, the mystery will finally be revealed.
Operation Santa Claus is coming to town.
Go, go!
Engage rooftops. Ho, ho, ho.
Drop time 18.14 seconds per household.
Let's pick this up, people.
Mission accomplished!
What happened for going down the chimney? Never did me any.
From Sony Pictures Animation and Aardman, Meet the family who makes Christmas happen.
Here's to me, doing an even better job next year.
Santa's the boss.
That turkey did more than him.
Steve's the brains.
Revised drop time to 14.13 seconds.
I'd love an espresso.
And then there's Arthur.
I just want it to be perfect for every kid.
But this Christmas,
there's been a glitch.
Oh dear.
There's one small problem.
A child's been missed!
You want to wake up the whole North Pole?
Good idea! A child's been missed!
Arthur! Who cares about one single child?
She'll think she's the one kid in the whole world that Santa doesn't care about.
Do you know, Arthur, there is a way.
Wow.
You're coming too, lad.
Me? On that? Up there? Pulled by them?
Dasher! Dancer! What are the others called? I could never really remember. Bambi?
I'm not really good with big animals.
This November, the last person anyone believed in.
Sir, why is Arthur out there?
Is the only one
Reporting for duty, sir.
Stowaway.
who can save the holiday.
Just stand back.
It doesn't matter how we got here. Wow! As long as she still believes.
Arthur Christmas.
How do you think he's,
Fine.
No child left behind!
On Christmas night at the North Pole, Santa's youngest son looks to use his father's high-tech operation for an urgent mission. Arthur Christmas is rated PG. And the wide release slate rounds out with The Artist, a romantic drama starring Jean Dujardin, Berenice Bejo, and John Goodman. Hollywood 1927. As silent movie star George Valentine wonders if the arrival of talking pictures will cause him to fade into oblivion, he sparks with Peppy Miller, a young dancer set for a big break. The Artist is rated PG-13. In limited release, we have My Week with Marilyn, a drama starring Michelle Williams, Eddie Redmayne, and Kenneth Branagh. Colin Clark, an employee of Sir Laurence Olivier's, documents the terse interaction between Olivier and Marilyn Monroe during the production of The Prince and the Showgirl. My Week with Marilyn is rated R. Home Entertainment's new releases this week still hit shelves on November 22nd, so there's absolutely no need to fight with the Black Friday crowds. This week kicks off with Super 8, a sci-fi thriller starring Elle Fanning, Amanda Machaca, and Kyle Chandler. During the summer of 1979, a group of friends witness a train crash and investigate subsequent unexplained events in their small town. Super 8 is rated PG-13. Next up, we clash swords with Conan the Barbarian, a fantasy adventure starring Jason Momoa, Ron Perlman, and Rose McGowan. Conan the Barbarian is the rebooted tale of Conan the Cimmerian and his adventures across the continent of Hyboria on a quest to avenge the murder of his father and the slaughter of his village. Conan the Barbarian is rated R. Next up is Sarah's Key, a war drama starring Kristen Scott Thomas, Melusine Mayance, and Niels Airstrup. In modern-day Paris, a journalist finds her life becoming entwined with a young girl whose family was torn apart during the notorious Belle de Vive roundup in 1942. Sarah's Key is rated PG-13. Next, we have Spy Kids 4, All the Time in the World, an adventure comedy starring Jessica Alba, Jeremy Piven, and Joel McHale. A retired spy is called back into action, and to bond with her new stepchildren, she invites them along for the adventure to stop the evil timekeeper from taking over the world. Spy Kids 4, All the Time in the World is rated PG. And last on the new release slate, we have The Devil's Double, a biographical drama starring Dominic Cooper, Ludovine Seigneur, and Rod Wowie. A chilling vision of the house of Saddam Hussein comes to life through the eyes of the man who was forced to become the double of Hussein's sadistic son. The Devil's Double is rated R. Moving right along to TV on DVD, we kick off with Doctor Who, the complete 6th series, starring Matt Smith, Karen Gillan and Arthur Darvill. The 11th Doctor, Amy and Roy, return in this release that combines the two halves of Series 6 with the 2010 Christmas special, plus hours of bonus material. The new series includes the first ever episode shot in the US and promises new thrills, new monsters, and new adventures, which will leave fans pinned to the edge of their seats. Traveling back in time, we have Perry Mason, Season 6, Volume 2, starring Raymond Burr and Ray Collins. Perry Mason is an attorney who specializes in defending seemingly indefensible cases. With the aid of his secretary Della Street and investigator Paul Drake, he finds that by digging deeply into the case, startling facts can be revealed. Relying on his outstanding courtroom skills, he often tricks or traps people into unwittingly admitting their guilt. This set finishes off the rest of the 6th season with a 9-season run. Next, we move into science with Nova, Fabric of the Cosmos, with Brian Greene. The Fabric of the Cosmos is based on the book by physicist and author Brian Greene and takes us to the frontiers of physics to see how scientists are piecing together the most complete picture yet of space, time, and the universe. With each step, audiences will discover that just beneath the surface of our everyday lives lies a world which we'd hardly recognize, a startling world far stranger and more wondrous than anyone expected. This week, you can also travel through the wormhole with Morgan Freeman, Season 2. What happens when we die? Do we simply cease to exist, or do we survive in some form? It's the greatest mystery of science. Now biologists, physicists, and philosophers are closing in on finding the answer to the ultimate question. Space seems like it goes on forever, but does it? Surprising new evidence suggests that not only is there a place where the universe ends, but there is something unimaginable lurking beyond it. These questions and more are explained in this science series hosted by Morgan Freeman.
In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police, who investigate crime, and the Crown prosecutors, who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
Hopping back across the pond, we have Law & Order UK Season 2, starring Ben Daniels and Jamie Amber. Dick Wolf delivers a second season of riveting British crime drama in the hugely popular series Law & Order UK. In 13 hard-hitting episodes reflecting the real-life cases that riveted overseas audiences, the police detective sergeants of the Major Investigations Unit and the Crown Prosecution Service work together to bring down some of the most complex and clinically insane criminals yet. From putting a child on trial for the murder of a toddler to the gut-wrenching investigations into the deaths of close friends and colleagues, these cases show the unique drive and determination needed to succeed in the British legal system. Thought-provoking, intense, and complex, it's yet another must-own gripping chapter in the global phenomenon that is the Law & Order franchise. And our TV on DVD list rounds out with The L Word, the complete series, starring Jennifer Beals, Leisha Haley, and Laurel Holloman. The L Word follows the lives and loves of a small, close-knit group of lesbians living in Los Angeles, as well as the friends and family members that either support or loathe them. It's beginning to look a lot like that time of year, and the release list has a few items to satiate your desires for family holiday fun. First, we have Prep and Landing, an animated TV special starring Dave Foley, Sarah Chalk, and Mason Vale Cotton. Wayne, one of Santa's elves, gets a new rookie partner, Lanny, after his previous partner got the promotion he wanted. Lanny has to remind Wayne of the spirit of Christmas and the importance of being an elf in Santa's Prep and Landing elite unit. Next on the list, we have Ice Age, a Mammoth Christmas special, an animated TV special starring Ray Romano, Jay Leguizamo, and Queen Latifah. In the middle of decorating for the holiday season, Sid accidentally destroys Manny's favorite decorations. Sid, convinced by Manny that he's now on Santa's naughty list, takes off with Crash, Eddie, and Peaches for the North Pole to get back on Santa's good side. When on the North Pole, Sid and his crew accidentally destroy Santa's workshop. When Manny, Ellie, and Diego, worried over Peach's safety, arrive at the North Pole, they must come together and save Christmas. And last on the holiday list this week, we have Becoming Santa, a comedic documentary. Becoming Santa is the story of one man entering the culture and character of Santa Claus for a single season. We follow Jack as he bleaches his hair, goes to Santa school, and tries to do everything that Santa is asked to do. He works as a sidewalk Santa, does home visits, operates a Polar Express train, and a parade. Along the way, Jack collects children's wishes, learns about the benefits of belief, the history and origin of Santa, and the ordinary people keeping the spirit alive. We close out our home entertainment releases with some classics coming to Blu-ray, starting with Three Amigos from 1986, a comedic western starring Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, and Martin Short. Three unemployed actors accept an invitation to a Mexican village to replay their bandit fighter roles, unaware that it is the real thing. Three Amigos is rated PG. Next we have Rushmore from 1998 coming to the Criterion Collection, a comedic drama starring Jason Schwartzman, Bill Murray, and Olivia Williams. Matt Fisher is a precocious 15-year-old whose reason for living is his attendance at Rushmore, a private school where he's not doing well in any of his classes, but where he's the king of extracurricular activities. From being in the beekeeping society to writing and producing plays, there's very little after school he doesn't do. His life begins to change, however, when he finds out he's on academic probation, and when he stumbles into love with Miss Cross, a pretty teacher at the elementary school at Rushmore. Rushmore is rated R. Next up, we have 12 Angry Men, also coming to the Criterion Collection from 1957, a drama starring Henry Fonda, Lee J. Cobb, and Martin Balsam. A dissenting juror in the murder trial slowly manages to convince the others that the case is not as obviously clear as it seems in court. 12 Angry Men is not rated. And last on the list, we have a rather controversial release, The Birth of a Nation from 1915, a historical drama starring Lillian Gish, Mae Marsh, and Henry B. Walthall. Two brothers, Phil and Ted Stoneman, visit their friends, the Cameron family, in Piedmont, South Carolina. This friendship is affected by the Civil War, as the Stonemans and the Camerons join opposing armies. The consequences of the war in their lives are shown in connection to major historical events, like the development of the Civil War itself, Lincoln's assassination, and the birth of the Ku Klux Klan. The Birth of a Nation is not rated. And now I have one item for you in the Quick Flicks. Disney's hit Tangled is getting a sequel, but it's not what you think. A short sequel called Tangled Ever After will play with Beauty and the Beast 3D starting on January 13th, 2012. Directed by Tangled's original talents Nathan Greeno and Brian Howard, this short will take place at Rapunzel and Flynn's wedding, where Pascal the Chameleon and Maximus the Horse lose the rings. Mandy Moore and Zach Levi will once again reprise their roles. From the press release, the kingdom is in a festive mood as everyone gathers for the royal wedding of Rapunzel and Flynn. However, when Pascal and Maximus, as Flower Chameleon and Ring Bearer respectively, lose the gold bands, a frenzied search and recovery mission gets underway. As a desperate duo tries to find the rings before anyone discovers that they're missing, they leave behind a trail of comical chaos that includes flying lanterns, a flock of doves, a wine barrel barricade, and a very sticky finale. Will Maximus and Pascal save the day and make it to the church on time? And will they ever get Flynn's nose right? If you want to discuss anything you heard on this week's edition, please take a moment to get in touch. You can surf on over to chronicriff.com and leave a note in the forums. You can leave a voicemail at 888-866-9010, or you can write to John at chronicriff.com. You can follow us on Tumblr, tweet us on Twitter, check into the network on GetGlue, and leave us a review on iTunes. We're also now available on Stitcher Radio, and you can find the Weekly Podioplex and the Chronic Rift on Facebook. We're also on Google+. Whether you want to like us, add us to your circle, or even plus one us, we are all over the internet. If you decide to pick up any of this week's new releases, why not do it through our Amazon store? You get the newest entertainment at Amazon's low prices and high-quality service, and each purchase you make through the store supports the Chronic Rift. Look for the link in our show notes. The Weekly Podioplex is a collaboration of Creative Criticality and Lucky Shot Productions. This is Michael Falkner. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, and we'll see you at the theater.
That's a wrap.